How's everyone this evening? Tonight, I want to speak on the politics of boxing, PEDs in boxing, the A side, B side of boxing. I just want to know: is it real anymore? Boxing is becoming predictable. I feel like boxing is like losing the essence of competing. I feel like we're not seeing, real fights anymore. We're seeing fights that are set up. We're seeing fights that are like predictable where we know who's going to win. We even know who they're going to be fighting afterwards. That's not good, I feel like, for the sport. Um, Me having 26 professional fights, I would like to say, I mean, of course, I have a big part to play in that, but I was a part of the politics, the B side of boxing, where what I mean, they really don't give a fuck about you. They don't. You know what I mean? And what people don't understand is about a lot of prospects. You know what I mean? The ones who are promising, the ones who do make it to the top level that you can kind of guarantee are the guys coming out of the Olympics. You know what I mean? Those are the talented guys. Those are the guys that know hard work. Those are the guys that know what it's like to fight around the world. You know what I mean? And go up against world-class competition. But then on the lower tier, there are guys who are being pushed by lower tier promoters, and they are trying to get them to the top level where they are fighting on ESPN, where they are fighting on PBC, Showtime cards, where they are fighting on the Zone cards and things like that. Um, I was on the other side of that. You know what I mean? When I turned pro, I didn't have a clue. I just thought you went in there and you gave it your all. You know what I mean? That's what I thought boxing was about. And when you an amateur and you coming up, that's all you really believe. Like, if I give it my all, if I give it my all, I give it my all. You know what I mean? I'll get to the top and one day fight for a title. But that's not how boxing is ran. A lot of these guys that you see undefeated, you know what I mean? Not just the guys on TV. I'm talking about the guys in small towns where some of them you barely hear about, and then they pop up. You see the guy who's 15-0, things like that. They are on the A side of the game where they're paying for wins. You know what I mean? I've seen guys get their ass kicked in their own backyards and get the call. You know what I mean? They still get the win. And I think it's fucking up the sport. I think it's fucking up the sport because that same method that was being used on the lower level is now happening at the highest level of boxing. You know what I mean? We seen it with Rolly Romero, his last fight. We seen it with J-Rock's last fight. You know what I mean? And we've been seeing it a lot recently. And I feel like it's making boxing. I don't know why they're doing this because I feel like we're losing fans. I feel like and the guys who are involved in the game, they you know they making it feel like we losing love for the sport. You know what I mean? I understand it, but I don't understand it because it's like this. It's like all right, promoters are trying to push a product, and you know what I mean. The guy that you can get to 15-0, 20-0 possibly. I mean, you'll get him a chance up against a world champion or a top contender, and they may not even believe in that guy. You know what I mean? But they want to get him to that level so they could, one, make a wish and hope that wish come true. Meaning they hope that guy they took from a local level can get on a world class level and win, or you know what I mean, at least get cashed out, at least fight for enough money where the promoter can recoup a lot of the money that he spent trying to build the guy. You know what I mean? But I never understood it because it was tough for me to understand because a lot of those guys really aren't that good, and they know they're not that good, but they may sell a lot of tickets locally So, you know what I mean, they continue to push these guys. But really, a lot of them not that good. And I think it's fucked up because, you know what I mean, it's watering down the game a whole lot. It's watering down the game a whole lot where you're missing out on a lot of fighters who can actually really fight and will fight their hearts out. You know what I mean? But they don't want to, you know what I mean? They don't want to push those guys. They want to push the guys who they can make ticket sales off of, or you know what I mean, or possibly put in front of a world champion or a top contender, make it look good, get him knocked off, make some money, and then move on to the next one. That's what happens in boxing. People need to really realize, like, fighters too, the fighters, the fans, they need to realize like it's no real love for fighters. You know what I mean? Every time somebody act like they love you or they using that word, damn kid, I love you, this and that, that's just to get you, you know what I mean, where they want you. You know what I mean? They don't really love you, bro. The game is rough. You know what I mean? It's a rough game. And they don't give a fuck about you. And you know it when a guy, I remember one time, Chavez Jr., he popped hot for marijuana, right? Chavez Jr. popped hot for marijuana. They suspended him for like 9 months. But then you get guys who pop hot for steroids, and then they'll get 3 months. Like, I don't get where that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't get where that's making sense, and that's what the game is turning into because a guy is popular. They'll make excuses. You know what I mean? They'll make excuses for the guy because he can sell tickets, or because he's a popular guy, or he may be able to fight. They'll make excuses for the guy. But then you got guys who really give it blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I mean? They're not fucking with the steroids and shit like that. And they're giving these guys hard time because they may not be as popular. The game, boxing is not what you think, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the best fight in the best, because a lot of the best fighters you don't hear about. You know what I mean? A lot of the best fighters you don't hear about, trust me. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go back to my story again. A little bit about my story. So me, when I decided to turn pro, a lot of people know this, a lot of people don't know. I had my first son already. You know what I mean? He was 1 year old for sure. He was 1 and some months. And I just needed to do something. And what I knew is I could fight, and I knew that I had boxing. But I didn't always take it serious because of things I went through with boxing. You know what I mean? Every time it looked like, in the amateurs, every time it looked like I was giving my all, every time I was, you know what I mean, doing everything I was supposed to be doing, something always went left. You know what I mean? And I got discouraged at times. I did. Be honest. I got discouraged at times because I was trying to figure out where's this shit going to pay off? Where and how and when is it going to pay off? Everybody that know when you're young, you know what I mean, you trying to rush. You're trying to do things fast. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to do things fast, and you're trying to get somewhere fast, but you really honestly you don't even know where you're going because you don't know how things are going to turn out. You know what I mean? So at that point in my life, I'm like, damn, you know, what am I going to do? So I happened to be in the gym. I had been in the gym for probably a few months, and I was walking around like 182 pounds, and got a call through my coach at the time, and was like, yo, they got a guy turning pro, you know what I mean, in 2 weeks, and you looking to turn pro, what you want to do? I'm like, well, wait, they like 168, can you make that in 2 weeks? I'm like, hell yeah, I can make 68 in 2 weeks. So I dropped down from 82 to 68 in 2 weeks, not knowing this guy has a manager and he's a paid bout. A paid bout means, again, you definitely A-side. You coming in under the promoter. Even if you're not signed to the promoter, you coming out of the A-side corner, and you being pushed as the next thing. You know what I mean? And I felt like they was comfortable with taking the fight with me because I was undersized for 168 pounds. So we get out there, I see the guy at the weigh-ins. And it's crazy because at the time it was same day weigh-in. You know what I mean? Meaning you fight the same day. I weighed in around like 12 o'clock. I remember I was in the ring probably like 8:30 that night. You know what I mean? Weighed in at, again, 12 o'clock earlier that day. And was in the ring around I was in the ring around like 8:30 that night. So 4-round fight, pro debut on both sides. You know what I mean? I had sold a few tickets. I didn't have time to really tell people. So I probably sold like 25 tickets. I ain't gonna lie. I sold like 25 tickets my first fight. But like I said, 2 weeks notice. I took the fight, you know what I mean? 2 weeks notice, short. And me, the first thing I did wrong was accepting a fight that high in weight. You know what I mean? So that's why when I said earlier in the live that, you know what I mean, I can't place blame all the blame other places. You know what I mean? That was my fault. I shouldn't have turned pro at 168 pounds. Also, I shouldn't have took a fight 2 weeks notice. But this is what the B side is. They look for guys who tough enough, who don't care, who don't understand what's going on to take these fights. Now, this guy I'm fighting, Joel De La Paz, probably like 5'10", 5'11", 168 pounds. He knew he was fighting. You know what I mean? So he was preparing for that date for probably 6 weeks or more. You know what I mean? So he ready to go. He prime and ready to go. Me, I'm tough from Philly. You know what I mean? I done been in the ring with everybody. I'm like, fuck it. Come on, we can rumble. You know what I mean? I take the fight. Close fight. I feel like even though I'm not judging it, I feel like in my eyes the fight was a draw. You know what I mean? But they gave him the win. And I remember immediately being like, damn, how the fuck is they judging these fights? Because I barely got hit. I remember I got caught with a good shot in the first round. I got caught with a good shot like in the third or fourth, and that was it. Like, I don't remember really getting touched too much. My face was clean when I came out of the ring. I didn't have no injuries or nothing like that. Crazy enough though, the doctor, he came in and checked my heart rate and everything before the fight, and it was actually like 15 minutes before I walked out, and he was like, yo, you got like a irregular heartbeat. So I'm like, bro, I'm about to fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can imagine I'm a little nervous, my heart racing a little bit. I'm like, bro, I'm about to fight, but I'm good. He like, I'm gonna have to check you again before you go out. So he come to me while I'm in the locker room and he checked me again. He like, yo, I still here. He was like, I was like, bro, trust me, I'm good. I've been boxing since I was fucking 12 years old. At this point, I'm 21. I'm like, bro, I'm good. Trust me. I wouldn't lie to you. So the doctor's like, all right, you know, I'm gonna keep an eye out on you, and if I don't like what I see, I'm gonna stop the fight. I'm like, all right, bet. You ain't even gonna have to worry about that. So after the fight, the doctor said to me, he said, yo, well, I guess you good. I said, I told you I was good. Crazy enough, again, 2 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail from the commissioner saying that I'm suspended. And in order for me to get off of the suspension, I would have to go see a cardiologist. For those who don't know what a cardiologist is, that's a heart specialist. You know what I mean? We'd talk about Bashley Samir too. But right now I'm talking about the debut and I'm talking about the game. So again, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a manager. I don't have nobody to pay for these things. You know what I mean? So at this point, I'm 0-1. You know what I mean? So in order for me to go see a cardiologist, I had to get insurance. Only way I can get insurance at that time was to get a job. You know what I mean? So I found me a job. Like months later, I found a job where I could get benefits. Of course, I had to be working for about like 6 months to get the benefits, for the benefits to kick in and shit like that. So I'm working. You know what I mean? At this time, I'm gaining weight. I'm getting bigger. You know what I mean? Yeah. So at this time, I'm getting bigger. I'm gaining weight. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right. As soon as my insurance kick in, I'm gonna schedule a cardiologist. So I got my first appointment. Now this might be like I said, like 6-7 months in within the job. You know what I mean? Boom. So I go see the first cardiologist. It's like, he like, yo, you good. But remember, I had to get the testing done, set the schedule, get the testing done. You know what I mean? Then you gotta wait for the results. So that's like another 3 weeks to a month or something like that till the results come back. So the results come back, he like, you good. But I'm gonna say this, I would get another opinion. All right, Cool. So I got the insurance, so I ain't bitching. I'm confident now. Now, mind you, listen, I'm working hard. I'm going to work damn near every day. You know what I mean? I'm probably taking maybe 1 or 2 days off a week, maybe. You know what I mean? I'm 22 years old. I'm a young kid. I'm doing this shit on my own. Like I said, no manager, all from the muscle. I I ended up sitting out for 2 years because I had to go see these cardiologists, wait for the results, shit like that to come back. Now, listen to the story closely. I sat out for 2 years, and as soon as I got cleared, as soon as I got cleared by the commissioner to come back, you know what I mean? I, I got a call. It was crazy because I didn't call anybody. I got a call. At the time I got a call, I was 207 pounds. Now, mind you, I turned pro at 168. I wasn't even supposed to be nowhere near 68. I should have turned pro at 140 pounds, something like that. But like I said, some of these mistakes are on me and some of them are not, you know what I mean? Or because I don't have representation. I don't have a manager. I don't have an advisor. I don't have none of that at this point. So, you know what I mean? I get a call to come fight Morgan Fitch out of Pittsburgh. I fight Morgan Fitch out of Pittsburgh, and I had 6 weeks. But guess what? The fight is at 168. Guess what? I weigh 207. I weigh 207. So I had to drop from 207 to 168. Basically, what's that, 40 pounds? Almost 40 pounds, 39 to 40 pounds. And I had already been off for 2 years. The second I got cleared, I got the call probably like a day or two later, and it was like, yo, we got to fight up in Pittsburgh. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go into it more. When they setting the fight up with you, and this is your second fight, and you don't know about the business of boxing, there's things that I'm supposed to get outside of my agreed check. You know, whatever number I agreed on, there's things I'm supposed to get outside of that, you know what I mean, that I didn't even know to negotiate for because I don't have nobody teaching me this. I don't have nobody around me who actually know. I'm doing this shit on my own, you know? So I get a call. To fight Morgan Fitch. Roy Jones is promoting the card. That's the craziest part. I love Roy Jones. So they're like, yeah, Roy Jones got a show up here in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Smoke Gainer is the main event. You know what I mean? They want you to fight Morgan Fitch. Morgan Fitch, I didn't know too much about Morgan Fitch. I looked him up a little bit. I might have found like 1 or 2 videos or something on YouTube. He was a big kid. He was like, I think Morgan Fitch is like 6'1", 6'2". You know what I mean? 168 pounder. Like I said, I'm supposed to be fighting at 140. At this point in my life, because I've been working, taking care of my son, and holding the shit down, I'm walking around 207 pounds at this point. So I take the fight. I'm like, yeah, I come up there and fight him. Me and my homie, I remember my brother had to drop me and my homie off because he had to take my car. Drop me and my homie off at the bus stop so we catch the bus up there. The reason, and it's crazy because now that I think about it, the reason that they told me to catch the bus, they was like, yo, it'd be cheaper if you come up on the bus than if you drive up. But they also did that because they wouldn't have to give me money for gas. You know what I'm saying? They just paid for my bus tickets. So me and my homie got bus ticket, boom. And my homie go up to Pittsburgh. We get there, they got a hotel room for us. Everything cool. But like I said, some things you don't know to negotiate for. When you come in on the B side and you don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? This is me coming out of the amateur. This is my second pro fight. Being off for 2 years. I'm still not fighting at my right weight. I should have been fighting at 140, 147, something like that. So we go to Pittsburgh, we check in, I get to meet Roy Jones. It was crazy, you know what I mean? I'm about to get on the elevator, Roy getting off. Roy was cool as shit, you know what I mean? Shook his hand, I thought that was decent. I'm like, damn. So my man, he talking to me like, yo, you gotta get this win, bro. I'm like, yeah, we gonna go out there and rumble. Get in the ring, we fight. Good fucking fight. Me and Morgan Fitch put on a great show, right? I get out the ring. This was like crazy to me. Roy Jones said, yo, bro, you get down to 147, ain't nobody fucking with you. You got too much skills, right? It's Roy Jones saying this to me. It's my second pro fight. I'm a kid. I'm a young kid. I'm like, yeah, but what just happened? Like, how did he? I'm like, did he really beat me? Roy, like, man, it was a good fight. At the same time, Roy is promoting this kid. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm like, all right, you just saying whatever. So as I'm walking back to the dressing room, the crowd showing love. You know what I mean? It's at a big casino. A lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers players was there and shit like that. Like, yo, great fight, bro. You did your thing out there, bro. So those words in my head, Roy, like, go down to 47, like, go down to. But again, I don't have nobody working with me. I don't have nobody on my side. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm in my head like, fuck, like, all right, I hear what he talking about. But at the same time, I don't have nobody working with me, showing me how this shit go, preparing these fights for me, like, you know what I mean, negotiating these fights and shit like that. I don't really know what's going on. So it's like, all I know, you know what's so crazy? When I turned pro, all I know is people calling my fucking phone. And every time I get a call from one of the matchmakers, I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, oh, this Brian Dillon. Oh, this is Lee Selby. Oh, this is fucking Chris Mittendorf. Oh, this is this. I'm like, how the fuck is y'all getting my number? You know what I mean? And it's not clicking. But the part that should have been clicking to me is like, yo, they know they got a live dog now. And he willing to fight at 168, 160, whatever. And the motherfucker's undersized. He'll fight anybody. He good to bring in because he gonna do just enough to get the loss. He gonna rumble, but he's small. He not really gonna knock none of these guys out, and they fucking giants. These guys are 6'1", 6'2" type of guys. You know what I mean? I'm fucking 5'6". I'm fighting at 168 pounds. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, yo, how the fuck is all these people getting my number? You know what I mean? So, all right, my third fight, I fight in Rashad Brown out of Philly. But the fight is in Atlantic City. I get a call from Russell Peltz, the man himself. The reason I say the man himself because he been promoting boxing out of Philadelphia since like the 60s. You know what I mean? So now I got Russell Peltz on my line, and he like, yo, again, this is another 2-week notice fight. The fight had got matched up at 164 pounds. I think I came in at 166. When I got the call, my weight had shot back up. I was like 185 pounds after the Morgan Fitch fight. And this was like a couple months later. I was like 185 pounds when I got the call. So he like, yo, would you fight Rashad Brown? I'm like, hell yeah, I'll fight Rashad Brown. I don't care. Like, yeah, well, we'll pay you $1,100. You know, we'll give you a hotel room. You get your per diem, this, and that. So I'm like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? This is what I need y'all to really understand, man. And this is why the guys on the B side take the fights. I don't know where y'all from. I don't know how y'all came up. I'm from the hood. And when I say I'm from the hood, my daddy is from one project and my mother's from the other project. These projects probably 1.5 miles away from each other. You get what I'm saying? I'm from the hood, bro. Like, my dad and my mother was both 15 years old when I was born. You know what I'm saying? My dad had just turned 16, matter of fact. My dad turned 16 a couple months before I was born. My mother turned 16 a month after I was born. So you gotta understand, bro, I'm from a crazy situation. This is not no pity party. I don't want nobody feel bad for me, none of that. This is just where I'm from. The reason I'm saying all this is because when I'm hearing people calling me for a fight 2 weeks from now, and I'm getting to make $1,100, I'm like, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, cause you gotta understand, me being from the hood, I done did some dumb shit for money. You know what I mean? If you could read in between the lines, I done did some dumb shit for money. So I'm like, so you gonna pay me fight, like my man just said, you gonna pay me fight 4 rounds, that's 12 minutes worth of work to fight this bull right here. And I don't think much of it. I'm like, come on. So I get to, mind y'all, listen, I'm still working though. I still got the job. Think about it, I still got the job. So Remember, I still got a kid. I still got my first son. You know what I mean? Still paying bills. You feel me? So I'm like, yeah, I'll come fight Rashad. No problem. So get to Atlantic City. I'm telling you a wild story. Remember, the fight was scheduled at 164 pounds. When I got to Atlantic City, I weighed 175 pounds. The day of the weigh-in, I went on the boardwalk. I put a sauna suit on, went on the boardwalk, put a scully on, put a sweatshirt on top of my sauna suit, and I ran, bro. I started running, doing jumping jacks, shadow boxing, and I'm running. I'm in the dead heat, bro. I'm outside in the heat, middle of the day. The weigh-ins is about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So this is probably like around 2. So around like 2 o'clock, sun beaming. I'm running down the boardwalk, shaking his weight off. You feel me? Doing these jumping jacks. I got to make 164. Remember that. I weighed probably like 170. Matter of fact, I weighed 177 because I came in at 166. I didn't make 64. I missed it by 2 pounds. I'll never forget. So I weighed 177 and I'm running. All right, boom. I'm running. I run back. I probably did like a 5-mile run, 6-mile run. But it was so fucking hot, right? I get to the hotel. Mind you, I'm not eating or nothing. I get to the hotel. I take a shower. I ain't gonna give them everything. I take a shower because I got a lot of stories, bro. I remember I got 26 pro fights. This is only my 3rd fight I'm talking about, so I ain't gonna give them everything. So I take a shower, I bundle up in the blankets, and I lay down for like an hour and a half, right? Lay down for like an hour and a half. Boom. Russell Peltz called me, yo, y'all gotta come down, weigh in. All right, so get on the elevator, we go down, get on the scale. I'm 166. So Rashad, I remember Rashad was like, yo, the weight was 164. Russell Peltz looked at him and was like, bro, he took this fight in 2 weeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't act crazy. He took the fight in 2 weeks. Rashad is another one. It's about 6'2", 168 pounds. Rashad Brown. Look it up. So get in there. This fight, me and Rashad, I had a little thing about Rashad because we sparred before. And when I felt like right before we started sparring, he was trying to like prove himself to me. Like he was trying to prove that he could fight. And I already knew he could fight. But Rashad was he came a little bit after me. So I know him from seeing him fight in the Golden Gloves and shit like that. So, I mean, we get in the ring, we sparring. He trying to like, you know, show me he got it. But I'm getting over. On the skills, I'm all night with this shit. So getting over a little bit. So now that we fighting, it's like personal. He even asked me like some years later, like, yo, why you take that fight? I was like, bro, I'm introducing you to the pros. Plus, you know what I mean? They gonna pay me $1,100 real quick. Why not? You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it. Probably, and the crazy thing is, I'm saying it like this because I probably could have got more money because they called me short notice. You know what I'm saying? But this is the shit you don't know. You know what I mean? And they're not going to educate you unless you got some good people around you. If you got some good people around you that know what's up with the game, they can let you know what's going on. But if you don't know, you're going to find out on your own. And if you're doing your own business, they're going to try to spin you, bro. So, and the matchmakers will tell you anything to get you to take a fight because whatever's within the fight budget, that they can get you to take under the budget, they take the rest of the money. You feel me? So it's like, yeah, we could pay you $1,200, $1,100, but really the budget be like $2,200. And you like, the fuck? You know what I mean? But they get to keep the other stack or whatever. Shit crazy, bro. So get in there with Rashad. Again, another great fight. We in that bitch rumbling. You know what I'm saying? We rumbling. They give him the fight. I mean, a little bit of my family came out. Shit, I was mad. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? I was pissed off. I remember being in the back like, yo, why is they not calling these fights? Why is they not calling these fights fair? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way I'm losing these fights. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know I can fight. Even though I'm not supposed to be fighting at 168 pounds, I'm like, bro, I know I can fight. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm 0-3. So I'm like, the fuck? 0-3, like, yo, this shit crazy, bro. Now, I'm about to drop some shit on y'all. This how they keep you rolling. I'm about to drop some shit on y'all. So I get a call after the Rashad Brown fight. Mind you, I'm still working, still got my job. I get a call. This was probably like a month notice. I get a call. I forgot the matchmaker name, but he said, yo, he said, Greg, I've been watching your career and I've been hearing about you. You need a good fight. I'm like, well, what you got for me? He like, listen, I got a guy named John Fairley. He 0-2. You 0-3. Somebody got to get a win. I'm like, that's perfect. I'm like, where the fight at? He like, it's in Butler, PA. That shit is like 6 hours away from Philly. But I'm like, fuck it. You feel me? I'm like, fuck it. I'm coming up there. I need this win. I need this win bad. He was like, yo, yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you just chill a little bit, you know what I mean? I can get you some good fights. But you got to remember, I don't know this guy. And this is what everybody is telling me. Everybody around me is telling me they can get me good fights, but I'm only getting calls for B-side. You feel me? So it was a heavyweight named Brian Minto from like Pittsburgh or some shit from up that way. And he was the main event on the card. It was a pro-am card. And I took the fight. I think I was only getting paid like $900, you know what I mean, to fight the boy. But it was cool with me. I'm like, fuck it. He 0-2, I'm 0-3. Somebody gotta get this win. Let's go. You know what I mean? So here's where shit get funny. You know what I mean? And this is when I knew I loved boxing. But I just didn't know how to go about it. I was already damaged. I got an 0-3 record. So I tell my job, like, yo, I got a fight, you know what I mean, that I want to take is in a few weeks. I need off. So they like, all right, we're gonna let you know if you got time off. Now listen, at this job, I used to live around the corner from the job. So every time somebody called out, I was the guy filling in. And I didn't miss too many days because I lived around the fucking corner from the job. So there's no way, like, you know what I'm saying? Even if I was sick, I would go in there because I only live around the corner from the motherfucker. You feel me? So I remember the weeks was winding down, and it's almost time for me to go up to Butler, PA. So they like, they call me up to the office at my job. They like, yeah, you don't have the time off though, so we can't let you go. But mind you, I had already took the fight. I had already signed the contract for the fight. So I'm like, I'm arguing with them. I'm like, what you mean I don't have time off? I got more than time off. You know what I mean? I'm the only motherfucker that come in this joint. And I do overnights, early mornings, you know what I mean? Whatever. I do first, second, third shift. So they like, yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you, Greg. So they gave me this piece of paper that showed all the days I supposedly had took off. So I'm like, no, I never took these days off. I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? I never took these days off. They tripping. And I was so hung up on this fight because this would have been my first win. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I go to Butler, PA anyway. I get a rental. You know what I mean? Me, my brother, my trainer Marty, and my man BJ, we ride up to Butler, PA. And we go get that win. You know what I mean? John Fairley, and let me tell you something about John Fairley. It's crazy enough because I was talking to my uncle, and he was like, yo, he said, Greg, he said, I want you to remember something. I said, what? Because I was telling him about the fight. You know what I mean? I used to keep my uncle in the loop, but he an old head. But I used to keep him in the loop, so I was telling him about the fight. He said, Greg, I want you to remember something. He said, I don't give a fuck about nobody's record. He said, if he a grown man, you got to assume that he's strong. I said, all right, I got you. You know what I mean? So he like, yo, if he a grown man, you got to assume he's strong. So I'm like, all right, bet, I got you. So we go to Butler, PA. I see John Fairley. John Fairley like this motherfucker look like a rock, like a short, stocky motherfucker. He about the same height as me, but he had a big head, right? And at the same time, at the time, he was like, I think I was 20, I might have been about 24, and John Fairley was like 30, like 35 or some shit. So I'm looking at this motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, he looks strong, but I ain't worried about that. Fuck it. Mind you, we fighting in like an old club or some shit. It's hot as shit in this joint. Get up there, go out there, we rumble, we get the win. Yeah, but let me tell you, The shit wasn't easy. You don't never judge a man by their record. You feel me? And I'm not trying to say I was judging him, but I was just excited to be in there because I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? This gonna be the one that get me back on track. Like I need this win. So I went in there and fought my fucking heart out. My brother, matter of fact, my brother might have this fight on his laptop. I'm gonna ask my brother and we see if we could shoot it to my YouTube when we post it on YouTube. So me and John Fairley, this is my first win. I'm 0-3, he 0-2. I go in there and I get the win. Great feeling. But guess what I weighed for that fight? I weighed 170 pounds. John Fairley came in at 164. You know what I mean? Get the likes up. Y'all hear my folks, man. Go ahead, hit that like button. So John Fairley, he weighed in like 164, 163 or some shit. I weighed in at 70. The limit was like 68. So they had to take some money off my check, but I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Go ahead, take the money. Like, I'm not running no more. I'm not losing no more weight. It was I remember it was cold as shit outside. And we was upstate Pennsylvania. I'm like, bro, I'm not losing no more weight. I'm not running. I'm not doing none of that. Fuck that. Like, it's two fighters trying to get a W. Like, fuck that. I'm just running. So the boy, John Fairley, he didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He had like somebody working with him, but you know what I mean? They took the fight after they took the money or whatever. So, and I think they took like $200 from me. So I get the win with John Fairley. I'm 1-3 now. So I remember saying like, all right, I gotta stop fighting so high. I remember I was like, yo, I'm fighting motherfuckers at 168 pounds. Like, bro, and I still got a lot to lose. Like, I gotta get this shit off. You know what I mean? I gotta get this shit off. So I remember I got a couple calls to fight at 160 and 168. And I was like, no. I remember I told the matchmakers, like, no, I'm going down. I'm going down. I'm not fighting no more 68s and all that type of shit. I'm going down. I'm getting my weight down. I want to fight at 54. So I got a call from a matchmaker from Connecticut. His name Mark. I forgot his name. Mark something. This was my 5th fight. I was fighting a white boy named Dustin Reinhold. White boy was a gangster. And crazy enough, Dustin Reinhold was coming home from jail. Dustin Reinhold had hit a guy in the bar because the guy hit his father. He hit the guy in the bar, but when he hit the guy hit his head and he died. You know what I mean? So when Dustin Reinhold come home, he get right back in the gym. At the time, he was 3-1. You know what I mean? Before he went to jail. I'm 1-3. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll fight him. 154. He coming home from jail. He on probation, parole, whatever. Craziest thing is, we get on the scale. This motherfucker got the ankle bracelet on and shit. So I knew it was real. You know what I mean? And I knew we wasn't about to get in there and play. But the most important part to me was, damn, we about to fight at the Mohegan Sun. I mean, we talking about Zab Judah, Arturo Gotti, Floyd, everybody fought at the Mohegan Sun. You know what I mean? Diego Corrales, guys like that. So I'm excited. I'm like, damn, it's the fucking like one of the best venues in boxing. You know what I mean? This is one of the venues you see all the time on HBO, Showtime, ESPN, shit like that, Friday night fights. So I'm like, damn, I'm super excited, right? So get up there. I remember I was trying to make 54. I came down to like 56 and a half. I came in a little bit over, and Dustin Reinhold had came in at 54 on the dot, and I was like 56 and a half. Again, they took some money from me. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I was coming down from 170, so, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck it. I felt good that I was in my 50s. So, the craziest thing was I never been nervous before a fight. I never was really nervous about the fight. I don't understand that. I never was really like nervous to fight the person, but this fight, I was nervous because it was the Mohegan Sun. When I saw the arena, it kind of made me nervous. Not made me nervous in the sense where I was scared, but it was like, damn, like this some big shit. You feel me? I mean, I'm like, this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? Nice arena. If anybody ever been to the Mohegan Sun Hotel and Casino, it's a hotel and casino, but it's like mixed together. Like it's not like a hotel area and a casino. Everything is mixed together. Like when you be walking through there, it's a mall. It's a fucking. So the shit was live, bro. The shit was great. So I'm up there. It was me, my cousin, and my homie. So I remember just feeling real antsy the day of the fight. I weighed in, you know what I mean? Woke up the next day, I'm feeling real antsy, feeling real antsy. You know what I mean? My blood flowing. So my cousin was smoking some weed in the parking lot. My cousin was smoking, so I'm like, yo, let me hit the weed. So my cousin was like, man, you about to fight? Are you tripping? I'm like, bro, I'm like, bro, I'm not worried about this fight, bro. But really, I was. I wasn't really worried about the fighter, but I was worried about the opportunity to fight at the Mohegan Sun. I was hyped. You know what I mean? And this is the thing about the reason I'm talking about all this, because I'm trying to put you in the mindset of a guy fighting on the B side that don't have nobody helping him. You know what I mean? First of all, I'm more excited and more nervous about fighting in the arena than I am fighting the fighter. You know what I'm saying? The reason you need a solid team around you is people, so people can keep your mind off that type shit. You know what I mean? Being a fighter is difficult, bro, because a lot of shit go through your mind. You know what I mean? And fighters don't be honest about that. A lot of shit go through your mind, especially when you're in the ring. So you know what I mean? I remember I asked my cousin, I'm like, bro, let me hit the weed. He like, man, like, fuck out of here, bro. You about to fight. I'm like, bro, I do this shit every day, bro. I'm cool. Like, let me hit the weed. So my cousin let me hit the weed. Boom. I hit the weed. I smooth out. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to roll. You know what I mean? This before I go to the venue. So we had to be at the venue like 5. So this probably like 4:30 or some shit. I hit the weed. So I walk in the venue. I'm fried. I'm not cooked. Like my eyes ain't red and all that. Because I only hit the weed one time. But I wasn't like, I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't all the way me. I was me under the influence. So I'm walking the joint. I'm real smooth. I'm relaxed. And that's how I wanted to feel because, like I said, my blood was flowing. But I was so hyped about fighting at the Mohegan Sun. So that's the round hole gangster. Get in the ring. You know what I mean? I'm feeling the vibe. You know what I mean? I'm loving how they got everything set up. You know what I mean? Nice big arena. They cut the lights off around the whole arena and they just dropped the light on the ring. And then it was microphones on the side of the ring. So I'm tuned into all this shit. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like Jimmy Birchfield there, guys like that. You know what I mean? So I remember the first round. I remember he had a real high guard, tight stance, and he threw like a hard ass 1-2. It didn't hit me, but I was like, ooh, like this motherfucker strong. You know what I mean? But I'm going out there, I'm boxing, I'm showing my speed, I'm showing my ability, good head movement. I was in a nice big ring, so I'm using the ring. You know what I mean? I feel sharp. You know what I mean? Second round come, same thing. I feel sharp. You know what I mean? I'm out there, I'm letting that shit fly. Now, the thing that was crazy to me was, remember I told you they had the microphones by the ring. So every time I throw a punch, you know how fighters be making that noise. I could hear it coming out of the microphone. So that shit was like hyping me up. You feel me? I'm a young boy at the time. So I'm getting excited about any little thing. So I'm hyped up. I'm like, yeah. So we just, like me and man, we getting that shit in, bro. Like we brawling. You know what I mean? But listen, remember I told y'all I hit the weed. Third round come, getting a little winded. So I tell my man in the corner, because my homie was in the corner with me. But my cousin, he was like on the side of the ring, he was recording. And this motherfucker erased the tape, big kid. He erased the tape after the fight. But I remember my cousin was recording, and he like, G, you gotta keep that motherfucker off your ass. I'm like, yo, he's strong as shit, and I'm tired. Like, I'm getting tired. I'm feeling myself getting winded. You know what I mean? So I remember going out there, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna just sit down. I'm gonna rip with him. So I sit down, I'm sitting down, I'm bending my knees, and I ain't boxing no more. I'm like, we brawling. So I think this is where the shit gets sticky, because we going to war. Me and Dustin Roundhole, we throwing that shit back and forth. But I can feel my legs loosening up. Like they're not tight like they're supposed to. I'm not sitting down like I'm supposed to. I'm getting pushed around a little bit. But we rumbling, we getting this shit on. So fourth round, I ain't gonna lie, I totally gassed out. I gassed out in the fourth. I rumbled, but I gassed out. You know what I mean? I remember he was pushing me back, and he was in my, I just remember it feeling like he was in my face the whole fucking round. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker wouldn't let me breathe. But we got it in. You know what I mean? They gave him the decision. I'm 1-4 at this point. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? I went and saw him in the back. I mean, he was sitting in the chair with his head down. I was like, yo, good fight, bro. He looked up at me. He was like, yeah, good fight. And I remember being so hyped and riled up and like worn out. When I was getting my money, I remember they was giving me cash. And I remember the lady was counting the money. And I couldn't even count the fucking money. I had to get my homie to count. Hey yo, I remember the lady trying to pay me, and I'm sitting there just watching her pick through all these bills, and I'm like, she give me my money. I'm like, hey B, count this shit. So I hand the money to my man. My man crazy with the cash. He like, he ripping through the shit. He like, G, it's there. I'm like, all right, bet, we good. Like, you know what I mean? Fuck it, we good. Appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? Miss Karma, I'm disappointed in myself, you know what I mean, after thinking about it. But I'm an old man now. I'm 36. I'll be 37. You feel me? Like, this is when I was young. I was in my 20s. You know what I mean, and I never was the best at being disciplined. And these are the things that the young boys got to listen to. You feel me? Yeah, I might have been out at that moment. I don't think I was punch drunk. I just think I was so riled up, like I couldn't even tap in. Like, I mean, my blood, I just could feel my blood moving around in my body. Like I was like riled up. You know what I mean? So, um, I remember, I remember my man counting the money and shit. And I remember leaving. I'm like, damn, I could have won that fight, but I did that nut shit. I mean, I smoked the weed. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro, fighters, y'all gotta understand, fighters are people, but they not regular people, bro. Fighters are assholes. Fighters are crazy, bro. Fighters are sensitive. You know what I mean? Fighters are everything that you talk about that you don't want to be. You know what I mean? That's what fighters are, bro. You know what I mean? Insecure, all types of shit, bro. You feel me? But one thing about me, I'm a dog. I'm a rumble you. I don't give a fuck who it is and where it is. You know what I mean? And where it is. So I'm saying all that. I'm gonna stop at the Dustin Roundhold fight. That was my fifth fight. You know what I mean? I came out 1-4 after the first five fights. I'm gonna break them down in pieces for y'all because you know what I mean. It's more stories and it's more. You know what I mean? The shit is crazy, but I I'm saying all this to say, you know what I mean? Boxing is not what you think. It's not what you think. And the reason I'm making this live right here is because the shit is happening at a top tier now. Shit is happening in championship fights. You know what I mean? They doing guys dirty and it's fucked up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm 36 right now. I'll be 37 in a few months, September. You feel me? Like boxing is fucked up, bro. Like, I mean, and they what I'm trying to say is, okay, all right, if there's a lot of people in boxing, and they don't even have to be rich, but they got resources, and they know it's a kid running around with no representation, and and the kid can fight, and he's willing to fight anybody. It's like, why don't somebody try to help this guy? Hey, yo, appreciate the love too, bro. Renaissance Day. I appreciate you, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, if it's people that understand, if it's people that have experience in the sport, and this is why I'm trying to tell y'all they don't care about fighters. If it's people that have experience in the sport, and it's people who understand what's going on, why wouldn't they try to help a kid like me? You know what I mean? And it's not that I was so much looking for help, because once I saw nobody was really, they really had my best interest. Once I seen that nobody had my best interest, I was like, fuck them. Like, I mean, I'm just going to do the business myself. And I learned over the years. You feel me? But all the negotiating and shit. But it's like, bro, if it's so many people in this sport that have experience, that know what's going on, they know your name. It's like once I turned pro, my name started floating around on phones. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I started getting calls from people I never heard of. I never heard of these people. And then when the social media shit got heavy, I started getting hit up on Facebook like crazy. Like this before the gram. I mean, the gram shit came later, but I mean, it's before the gram. I'm still talking about 2011. I mean, around that time, 2010, 2011. You know what I mean? So it's like, to be honest, the reason they don't talk to these fighters and try to get help from them, because they need the guys. You need the B-side guys. You know what I mean? You need them to be dumbfounded. You need them to not know what's going on because they getting called in to lose. A side, when you the A side, that means you supposed to win. Not because you the better fighter, because you the fighter that's being pushed. You the product. You the fighter. You the fighter that's being pushed as a product. So you supposed to win. And the odds are on your side because the money is behind you. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? I didn't know that the promoters and the managers and all that was invested like they were. I knew that some guys had managers and stuff like that, but I didn't know they was just literally paying for fights. Like, you know what I'm saying? And win, lose, or draw, the motherfuckers still win. Unless you knock him cold the fuck out, you know what I mean? And the only way you really gonna get a knockout in boxing is you gotta be fighting at the right weight. You gotta be in tip-top shape. You know what I mean? You gotta be on your shit. Now, I'm not saying that's the only way you'll get a knockout because if a guy don't have a chin, he don't have a chin. But I'm saying coming in on the B side, you fighting a prime and ready A side guy who's known about the fight for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and you only known about the fight for 3 weeks, and you gotta be a punching motherfucker or just a motherfucker that's in shape. You feel me? And I was the kind of motherfucker, it was hard for me to stay in shape if I wasn't motivated by knowing that I was gonna fight. You feel me? But the fighters who are on the A side, they know when they're gonna fight. You know what I mean? Because it's their schedule. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? That's why you be seeing these mismatches like this. You know what I mean? And the game, I mean, the game crazy. The boxing is crazy. You know what I mean? But I feel like with all this shit going on, like I said, with the PEDs, with the politics, the A side, B side, is watering the game down. It's making people hate this shit. You feel me? If all your fights judged fairly, what do you think your record would be? I think I would have for sure like 15 wins, 16 wins probably. But I think I would have a lot of draws too. I've been in a lot of good fights. I've been in a lot of back and forth fights, like really good fights. You know what I mean? Boxing has changed a lot. Your birthday September 9th. I'm September 5th. Yeah, you come box, bro. What's the deal? What's popping? What's popping? Any advice? You know what I mean? The main thing with amateur boxing, man, you want to get as many amateur fights as possible. So, you know what I mean? If you gonna run it up and stop playing, you gotta stay in the gym and stay ready. Stay in the gym, stay ready, and rumble. You know what I mean? And as long as they ain't trying to put you in a crazy mismatch, it's not. Don't worry about it. Go in there and fight. You know what I mean? If you a novice class guy and they trying to get you to fight an open class guy, all right, I understand. But once you get your 10 fights and you turn open, I mean, you ain't supposed to give a fuck who they are. Do you think they push fighters with a certain look? Like, what is that look? Yeah, they all right. So it's not so much the guy gotta look a certain way. If he does look a certain way, that helps. But really, September 2nd, yeah, we got them Virgos in here tonight. Hey, but what it is, really, they looking for guys who can sell. They looking for guys who can sell. What was the Jared Hurd fight like? That was a rumble, man. Listen, Jared Hurd is 5-0 and 5 knockouts when I fought him. You know what I mean? And I got to watch him fight live because I fought Alantez Fox 2 months before. So I watched Jared Hurd and I was like, I could beat him. I'm like, he's slow. You know what I mean? When I'm watching him, I'm like, he's slow. I could beat boy. I'm like, he big. I'm saying all this shit to myself when I'm watching him. So after Jared Hurd knocked that kid out, I asked Brian Dillon, the matchmaker, I was like, yo, when he fight again, I was like, call me for that fight. I want to be his next fight. And I got the call. I got the call probably like a month later, and I think I had a month to get ready for Jared Hurd. And the fight with Jared Hurd was at 54. Yep, it was at 54. You ever feel like you want to train a champion? I will train a champion, for sure. I'm going to train a bunch of champions. You going to see. So Jared Hurd's punching power was not devastating, but he was big. Like he was strong. Like you could feel his physical strength, but he wasn't like a big puncher. I remember the best shot I got hit with against Jared Hurd was in the last round. I remember he threw like a right hand and the left hook, and I rolled under the hook, but I had got real low, and then he threw another right hand and it hit me on top of my like top back part of my head. You know what I mean? But that was the best shot I felt from Jared Hurd. He never knocked me down or nothing like that though. But you know what's crazy about the Jared Hurd fight? I dropped him in the first round, and the referee picked him up, and they never called it a knockdown. That was crazy to me. When I caught Jared Hurd in the first round, I looked back at my corner like, yo, he went down. They was like, that's a knockdown. But the ref never started counting. He just helped him up, wiped his gloves off, and we kept rumbling. And even people down there said I won that fight. You know what I mean? Even people down there said I won that fight. People from the DMV. But that's how I earned my respect. I fought two of the best young bulls back to back. I fought Montez Fox and Jared Hurd back to back. And from there, it was respect every time I went down there. I wish I could keep it, you know what I mean? But that's the other thing. That's the other thing about boxing. When you don't have representation and you doing shit on your own, the guys you want to fight, they don't always want to fight you. You know what I mean? I tried to fight Tommy Ray Noon out of New York, couldn't get that fight. I tried to fight Frank Galarza out of New York, couldn't get that fight. You know what I mean? It was fights I couldn't get. It was fights I couldn't get, and I would ask for them. I used to call and ask for them, like, yo, can I get that fight with such and such? They'd be like, oh, no, we ain't doing that. We ain't matching that fight up. Talk about the context and if it handicaps to the B-side boxer. What you mean the context? I was there, G. You won against Hurd. It was the talk of the town, Show Place Arena. Yeah. It was a great fight. It was a great fight, but I didn't think I lost. I didn't think I lost to Jared Hurd. I really did. Hey, is that my man Jay? That ain't hardcore boxing, Jay, is it? No, because he was having it. You said the best boxers never made it big. Is that because of the politics or personal stuff like family or work? I believe it was all the above, bro. Some of the, like I said, some of the Olympians and shit like that, they get in. They get in, but it be some bad motherfuckers you never hear about, bro. You never hear about that never get a shot. They never get a shot. Greg, bro, do you ever been stopped in any of your professional fights? So how many times? And did any get overturned? Curious. I'm gonna keep it real. I got 2 stoppages on my record. I'm gonna tell you exactly how they went. Basti Samir was probably the only official stoppage. He was an African Olympian. I fought him at 160 pounds in California. When I fought Basti Samir, the reason I was so sad after that fight is because I was boxing the shit out of Basti Samir. And I remember one time I threw a lead right hand, and I saw him cock his right hand, but it was like I couldn't tell if he wanted to throw it straight or throw an uppercut. But I seen him cock it. Me being a daredevil, I threw the right hand again, but I kind of I threw it lazy. And when I did it to just to see what he was gonna do. And I didn't fall in with it, but I just shot it. I just shot it out there like real lazy. And then I don't know, he was just so ready. And that motherfucker countered me. Boom, he caught me with an uppercut. When he caught me with an uppercut, he damaged my eye right away, my left eye. He damaged my left eye right away. And I remember backing up to the ropes. And the motherfucker was rushing up on me. He threw a big overhand. I rolled under it, and I caught him with a hook. When I caught him with the hook, the Mexicans went crazy, bro. Mexicans went crazy. He came back at me again. He tried to load up a hook, but I threw a short hook. It beat him there, then I doubled it. They went crazy again. This time he backed up a little bit. I circled out. When I circled out, he jumped right back on me, but he did like this amateur. It's called like a shoe shine. He did an amateur drill. It's like an amateur drill. It was only probably like 30 seconds left in the round, some shit like that. So he threw in his drill. He running. He just like slapping with the gloves. And I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't see out of my left eye. So I just got my hands up and I'm rocking back and forth. And next thing you know, old head jumped right in there and stopped it. And I looked at him. I said, yo, what the fuck you doing? I'm like, why you do that? He was like, you wasn't returning any shots. You wasn't returning any shots. I told you to show me some. I'm like, bro, it's 10 seconds left or some shit. He like, bro, I told you, I mean, you wasn't returning. Don't worry about it, man. You'll be all right. But I'm gonna be honest. I know this sound crazy. I'm glad. I'm glad that the fight got stopped. You know why? Two reasons. One, because I went to the hospital after that fight, and I had, I have, and I still have them to this day. I have dry blood blotches like in my eye. So like if I close my eye, I can see like three little blotches like floating around. You know what I mean? So if the fight would have continued, my eye could have been damaged for life. I could have probably had like a detached retina or a retina tear. You feel me? And the other reason I was glad they stopped it, not glad that they stopped it, but I was like, I learned to live with it. Bassi Samir ended up getting popped for steroids. So I'm like, damn, like, after thinking about it, I'm like, that motherfucker could have killed me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Think about it, if I'm in there fighting this motherfucker, he on steroids, and I got one eye, this motherfucker might get me out. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this motherfucker might, you know what I'm saying? He might, you never know what he would have did. You feel me? But I was always pissed about that fight because I never seen myself getting stopped. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I mean, I was hurt about that shit. But everybody, it was crazy because everybody that was there, like a lot of the people that was there, they was like, yo, you was doing your thing, bro. That was a good fight. All these Mexicans was showing love. I never took pictures really after a loss. I was taking pictures with people. People wanted pictures with me. That shit was crazy. Um, and my last fight, I took a fight 2 day notice to fight a heavyweight, and I stopped after the second round because of back pains. I was like, I don't like how my back feel, bro. This nigga was too heavy. I fought a guy, you could look on BoxRec. I fought a guy that's like I think he like 6'5", 6'6", and he weighed in at 387. I mean 287. He weighed in at 287. So he very well could have been 300 pounds the night of the fight. You know what I mean? I weighed in at 204 with my clothes on. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to fight a heavyweight though, just to see. You know what I mean? So a lot of people were surprised that I stopped the fight after the second round. You know what I mean? But it was because the pain I felt in my back. I was like, no, I don't want to fuck around, hurt my back. You know what I mean? But that's the only 2 times a fight ever been stopped in mine. All my fights went the distance. You know what I mean? 24 out of 26 went the distance for sure. And I only been knocked down maybe three times. I got knocked down once by Mike Ruiz in the 6th round. I got knocked down by Mike Ruiz in the 6th round. I got knocked down by in the rematch when I fought my man Pryor, Larry Pryor. Larry Pryor knocked me down in the 2nd round. Flash knockdown. And that's the only 2 I can remember. I don't remember getting knocked down no other times. I don't remember getting knocked down no other times. No, I got the heart of a lion for sure. The heart of a wolf, the heart of a bear, the heart of a gorilla, all that type of shit. I ain't running from nothing. How do you feel about boxers unionizing? I think we definitely need to get a union going for sure. Do you think you fought other fighters who won't juice? How did you know? I found out about Bassi Samir because an article came out. And Bassi Samir at the time was fighting out of Mayweather's. I fought him on a Golden Boy card, but when it happened, when it came out that he popped hot, you know what I mean? He was fighting out of Mayweather's. And I kind of knew it when I seen him because he looked big as shit, but he weighed in the same as me. But we like if you look at our picture, the muscle mass, crazy. The weigh-in picture, Bassi Samir, the weigh-in, the muscle mass was like crazy. This motherfucker looked like an action figure. I mean, he came in at 161. I'm like, the fuck? Is Mike Ruiz John? No, no, no. I fought Mike Ruiz out of New York, John Ruiz, and he Puerto Rican. The guy I fought. If you could put any of the top fighters in front of you, Middleweight, heavy, who would it be? I don't care, bro. I fight any of them niggas, bro. Talk about the contracts and handicap? Does it handicap the B-side boxer? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When a fighter, when an A-side fighter is under contract with the promoter, all he got to do is not get knocked out. He gonna get the win. It's simple. As simple as that. All he got to do is not get knocked out. He gonna get the win, or he gonna get a draw, or he gonna get a draw. And if you get a draw and you on the A side, you really lost. You'll fight with Herd or Fox on YouTube. Nope. They never post none of my fights, bro. What do you think about weight clauses and what's really in those contracts that people don't know about? So this is as simple as I can make it. When you first start getting contracts, it'd be 1 page, 2 pages, 2 pages, 2 pages at the most in the beginning. The higher you go up in the business, the bigger the fights, bro. You start getting contracts that's fucking like 15 pages, 20 pages long, 30 pages, like you know what I'm saying? So it's stipulations for all types of shit, bro. I'm telling you. And these promotional contracts be bogus, bro. A lot of them be bogus. I'm trying to tell you, this shit be bogus, bro. I tried boxing when I was younger, ain't got caught. Well, kitty shot that had me pissing blood. At that moment, I knew it was not for me. It is a hazardous sport for sure. If you got a call to fight Triple G this week, would you take it? If the Triple G fight was $4 million, I'll fight it. What do fighters really want to say about business but afraid to say because it's a lot of shit they want to say. They want to tell the truth, but they know they're getting put on the bench. That's really the truth. They're getting put on the bench. Who's the best promoter now? I mean, we got to be real. PBC is doing a hell of a job. PBC right now doing 3-fight deal with Canelo. They got Tank Davis and they got Earl Spence and they got Bud to come over there. So you got to be real. I seen that video when you knocked that tall dude out on the street from running his mouth. That wasn't me, bro. I appreciate y'all for tapping that with me. Al Heyman do got all the cash cows, bro. He getting it popping. And still got Wilder. Let's be real. As a promoter collectively, Al Heyman getting it popping. Well, as an advisor collectively, fighting on the what is it, TGB promotions. What's the oldest age you think someone can start boxing? I think anybody can start boxing. You know what I mean? Now, if you're gonna start fighting, you know what I mean? That's up to your body. That's up to your physical. Do rehydration clauses make fighters have to lose more weight when they usually would, so that their body won't naturally go above that weight the next morning? For some fighters, or they just ain't gonna eat as much. Hank Lundy is my childhood friend. We both trained at Mary Anderson Gym. He went pro. I went further my education. And congratulations to both of y'all. You know what I mean? Appreciate your honesty on what goes on behind the scenes. It's a lot of political things that be robbing the B side. Real shit. I took the energy and earned the MBA. Heyman moved like Avon from the wire, unseen but felt. Real shit. That's some real shit. Hey man, I appreciate y'all for real, man. Make sure I hit that like button for those who didn't. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. I just was sitting here thinking about, you know what I mean, a lot of shit that go on in boxing. I'm like, bro, I gotta make it loud, at least give them a little bit of my story, but talk about the game too. Like, this shit crazy, bro. This shit crazy, but we love it. I mean, we love it, but it's really the entertainment business. You feel me? You know what I mean? Same shit that go on with rappers and shit be going on with fighters, bro. I'm telling you. And what I don't like about boxing, it be too many hands in the pot. Too many hands in the pot. Adrian Broner, man, I hope he get himself together and get right. Yeah, I think we should get a 45 and older boxing club to fight other, pay him 1,000 to fight. I mean, we could work on it. That's gonna be tough though, cause you gotta get the medicals cleared. I don't need nobody dying on me. Yeah, promotion will punish the B side and shelve them specifically because they got the KO. Real shit. Like, bro, when I started getting my weight down, I started fighting at lower weights, 54, and I made it down to 47, 50. I came in at 50, 52, shit like that. When I was fighting down there, bro, it was tough for me to get fights because I was in better shape. And that mean I'm putting more on these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Get that Jake Paul fight. Jake Paul is a bitch. Why they keep thinking that was you fighting in the street? We all know that wasn't you. Yeah, that wasn't me, cuz. I don't know why they keep trying to put that on me. Think about Lundy and Kurt Scooby. I don't know too much about Scooby, but I know Lundy and I know he gonna come to fight, especially because how his last fight turned out. I know he ain't gonna come on there and rumble. All those hands in the pot needed. Fuck no. Fuck no. Just subscribe. Appreciate the content. I agree with what you said in a recent interview about Spence and Crawford not being top 50 all time at welterweight. Willie Pett was a legend. You know boxing. Appreciate you, Kenneth Neal. Do you think boxing will become more mainstream if they started doing like 50-50 real boxing and influence boxer cards and influencer boxer cards? I don't know. I don't know. That's it. But I think if they just call these fights fair, it'll make the game so interesting. You know what I mean? It'll put money in the right guy's pockets. You know what I'm saying? Everybody will eat. Do you think amateur boxing has better matchmaking than the pros? I think amateur boxing is political too, and it's sick. It's sick. And amateur boxing, the matchmaking is just random, unless they on at tournaments, national tournaments. That's when you really just get matched up with the best. But sometimes the way they call the fights. Do you think Tank will fight again this year after the bid? He might. He might fight in December. Karen versus Earl. I really feel like bro is slick as fucking would be best everyone not named Booth. And maybe even Crawford too. Yeah, I want to see Karen come back and fight somebody too, just to see how he do. How did you cut your weight? I did a lot of running, baby. I did a lot of eating fish and solid fruit. You know what I mean? A lot of running though. I watched Aaron Pryor. He reminds me of Spence. Aaron Pryor and Spence remind you of each other? Coach, who do you think is the best managed fighter? I am speaking from the financial aspect. I'm gonna keep it real, bro. You know who get these fighters paid? Keith Connolly. I ain't gonna lie, cause I seen it up close and personal. Greg, I know you will put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't know. I just want to get in there with him. I thought amateur boxing wasn't as grimy because there's no money involved. It's money involved. Trust me, it's money involved. Champ, keep it a bean. Is Canelo ducking Benavidez? I think so. Could it be a cherry pick going wrong with Charlo or just being smart on his way out? I think he being smart, but at the same time, it could be a cherry pick. I think he being smart because he catching Jamal Charlo after a layoff, a crazy layoff. But it could backfire. Going to Boots fight in AC. I don't know. I might come. I might be at Boots fight. I don't know. I got a lot going on. You going to Boots fight? Yeah, a lot of these most recent decisions and even lopsided scorecards with the right guy winning show you that the suits care more about boxing storylines than actually who's the best. Right. That's right. I think they should do tournaments in each division like they did Andre Ward. That'll make boxing better. True. You think Kuboy is making a mistake by fighting anyway in Japan? How you see that fight going? Anyway, jumping to win. I think as long as anyway take the testing, the VADA testing, blood testing, and all that. I think it don't matter where they fight. Cool Boy is one of them guys. He thrive off of pressure, and to be honest, Inoue is a good puncher, a great puncher at 115 and 118. But I think at 22, fighting the best guy in the division at 22 is a big mistake on his part. To be honest, I think Cool Boy is going to, after 4 rounds, I think it's going to beat Inoue up. Cool Boy is going to. Yeah, for sure. Why they counting Kuboy out with? I don't know, but this game you will win. Karen versus Earl. Karen versus Earl. I don't know. That'd be a great fight though, because we haven't seen a lot from Karen, but we know what Earl could do. So I don't know. I saw Wilder asking Ruiz to fight. Do you think he is ready? Yeah, I think him and Ruiz would be a great fight for sure. I think him and Ruiz would be a great fight for sure. Hey man, listen, I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. I gotta go ahead and give me some shut eye. You feel me? Hit the motherfucking sack. Hop in the shower, wash my back. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that tapped in, man. You think Andy deserved 50-50? Maybe because Wilder isn't champion right now. If Karen ran from Boots, he damn sure won't be running from Earl. I agree. Gee, I'm out here in Arizona and the delivery driver. I heard people discussing you. Your reach is crazy. Appreciate that, bro. Tell everybody on Arizona I said I fucks with them. For those who fuck with me, I fuck with them. I think so. Peace, G. And just kick back and listen, stay up. Appreciate y'all, man. Get with me, man. I'll be back tonight is Wednesday, so I'll be back most likely Friday. I might come back on Thursday, but most likely Friday and then again on Sunday. I'm gonna try to go every other day for y'all. We gonna get it popping. Hey, y'all can hit me on the DM, Greg Hackett 86 on Instagram. Y'all can hit me on the inbox on motherfucking Facebook, Greg Hackett. And y'all can hit me on Twitter, Greg Hackett 215. I mean, hit me with the questions. Anything y'all would like me to speak about, any matchups y'all would like me to speak about, you know what I mean? It's no problem. I'll try my best to get to it. And I definitely respond. I'm not one of those who act like I don't see your message. Get with me. I fucks with y'all. Thank you. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all. Thank you.